Hello and welcome back to part 2 of this video tutorial series on how to make a blog site using GatsbyJS. In the last video we installed all the tools and prerequisites that we need to make and edit this project, including Node.js and Gatsby CLI itself, which allows us to create the app. So let's start creating the app. So I'm going to run command terminal on desktop. And let's run Gatsby new code underscore blog. So code underscore blog is just the name. You can name it whatever you want as long as you type Gatsby new. This is now going to create the project, the npm project with the dependencies that Gatsby needs, and fetch and install all these dependencies and prepare the boilerplate for us. So this is going to take a while, so I'll be back once it's done installing. Okay, now that it's done installing, let's cd into it by typing cd code blog, and let's open it up in VS Code by running code dot, which opens this directory in VS Code. I'm gonna now close this terminal, and from now on I'll be using the VS Code integrated terminal. You can open it up by pressing Control at, which is going to open it up. So let's look at what we got here. So package.json file, which is standard npm file that comes with any npm based project. We got our dependencies, including Gatsby and a couple of plugins that come with it. We got React and React Helmet, which we'll talk about later. We have scripts here, build, which builds the static assets to the public directory, and we got develop, which starts this application. So before we go through the rest, let's start this application and see what it looks like. So by running Gatsby develop, it will now run the application on watch mode, which means essentially it's watching what you're doing, and each time you change a file, it recompiles and runs on hot reload. So you don't have to stop and run again each time you change something. So it's done compiling, so let's control click localhost at port 8000, and there we go. So we got here our header, which is pretty simple right now, just the title, and we got this home page, and we got a link to the page 2, which just says page 2. It's pretty simple right now. This is the boilerplate that comes shipped with Gatsby. So let's change a couple of things, or let's just go through the structure and understand a bit what's going on here. So I got these config files. Most important one is Gatsby config. This is where we have our site metadata, including the title, description, and author, and all this stuff. We have our plugins here. This is each time we need to use a new plugin. After installing it, we need to configure it here. We got this Gatsby node, which is empty right now, but we're going to be using this later to create pages, so let's not worry about that too much right now. So we have a source folder. This is where our React app sits. We got a components folder. This is where all our components of our pages sit. Let's see, we got layout here. This is the main layout file, and each page we create will extend this layout, so it will use everything that is in this layout, and what we put in the middle of the layout tag will be here. So we will always include this header, which is right here, and it's just got some stylings, and it includes the title of the page, which is the title of the site rather, which is pulled from the metadata that we saw earlier in the config file. And we're going to be working with this a bit later. So let's jump into pages. So these are our pages. So it's as simple as this. In order to create a page, you just create a JavaScript file here and name it, and that would be that page. So if we wanted, let's say, to create a page, an about page at the path /about, we just come here and create a new file about.js, but we will do that later. So let's remove this as well. Let's clean up a little bit. So I don't want the home page to say all of this for now. I just want it to have a header one that says home page, And let's remove this page 2, we don't need that. And let's leave this default 404 page in case a user goes to a link that doesn't exist anymore or a page that doesn't exist at all, they will get this page. Let's remove this basic styling or default styling that comes with Gatsby. We're going to use our custom stylings. Let's remove the import as well so it doesn't throw an error. What else? Let's remove this image component. We're gonna import it and use it ourselves later. And let's delete these images. We're not gonna use them. And what else? Let's change the title of the website. Let's call it code blog. And let's change the icon. Now I found this cool icon, so let's download this cool icon. I'm gonna post a link to this icon in the video description so that you can download it. Let's download the 64 by 64 version of it, and let's drag and drop it in images. I'm gonna rename it to icon.png for the sake of simplicity, and let's go ahead. This is where our icon image URL link resides, so let's give it that URL, icon.png. So now the icon should change and the site title should change, and let's save everything and let's close everything for now, and should compile again. And then we got an error. Let's look and see what happens here. We have an error with image.js because something is importing it. Let's look at index. Yes, we're importing a deleted file, so let's remove these imports for now and let's save. And here we go, it compiles successfully. Let's go to localhost 8000 again, and we don't have a title. And why is that? Let us check. Oh, that's because each time you change the configuration files, you actually have to run again. It only watches these the component files and the stylings and all this stuff, but the configuration files, whenever you do a change there, you have to stop and start the server again. So it should work now. So if we just reload, there we go. We see that the title here in the header changed, and the name of the tab changed to home at code blog, because we're in the home page. And if you're wondering why it added this home thing, that's coming from the React helmet component, and it's using a template. So we got a title, which is the title of the page, and it's using this template. So the title goes here, and there's this wall, let's call it, it's the or sign, and we have the title of the site goes here. So if we were in about, it will be about wall, I guess, code blog. So if you don't like that, you can change it here. I'm fine with it for now. And the icon didn't change, it's because we need to clear the cache. So if you do Control F5, it should change, and there we go. And yeah, it's starting to look more custom. It's starting to look more like our site. So we're gonna do more of that in the next video. We're gonna start to create our own pages, and we're gonna bring in our own custom styles. So look forward to that, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.